Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, there is a lovely little piece in the Edinburgh Evening News, and ironically, it was only published 46 minutes ago. Hardly evening news. However, I suppose a website doesn't care what time of day it is. But what they're saying in there is that Alex Cole-Hamilton, whom they've interviewed, is saying that the agony must be ended and that there must be a general election call and that Rishi Sunak must be prepared to go to the nation. Now, of course, Alex Cole-Hamilton has a vested interest. He, of course, is a Liberal Democrat. He's not one of the ruling governmental classes of Conservatives. But I do think that, yes, it is dragging on. It is a condition now that we need to change the driver of the country and the economy and everything that's going wrong, even if it is just to put the fear of God into people. Look, let's do a period of Labour and see how bad it can get, kind of thing. But will he do it? No, of course he won't. But it is the last moment. Today is the last day where Rishi Sunak can reasonably call an election and have it coincide with the local elections in May and the elections for mayors up and down the country. And so if he hasn't called it by close of business today, then it isn't going to happen, let's be honest. But there is still a chance he might. He has a few hours yet. Will he go to the king? Will he take the knee, kiss the ring and say, please, 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 let's have an election? Well, don't hold your breath. But if these threats to depose him as Prime Minister are genuine, are solid, I mean, we have got Penny Mordaunt, who has yesterday confirmed that she has no interest in becoming Prime Minister, which of course means she wants to be Prime Minister. And there are others with, let's just say, ambitions to holding office in number 10, although please God not Robert Jenrick. Then, of course, you have this setup where he may well go out of spite. Now, it can't really feasibly go on May the 2nd, which would be the elections day, but it may be a case that he goes middle of June, for example. It's warm, it's dry, people are feeling better. If there's any kind of interest rate cuts between now and June, people will start seeing it in their monthly earnings, that kind of thing. And that is the principle of him going then. He can't win, of course. It's beyond saving, but he may reduce the loss. However, I think that people in the Tory party themselves may well be looking to have a quiet word with him. Don't go to the people they'll be saying, simply just resign and let someone else take over for a few months. Give them a chance to bed in and give them a chance to then run to an election in, say, October or November, after they've had this short sort of honeymoon period. Now, if he doesn't go to the country, then for those of us like me and you who spend all our time thinking about politics and that have been on a high state of election alert since probably Christmas, it's going to feel like a sneeze that didn't go off. But I think the time has come. I think he must. I think it's there. I don't think he'll have to wait till October. I think either he resigns or he goes to the country. It all depends on how arrogant and greedy he is for power. But can you remember the last time it felt like we had any kind of stability in government, or even for that matter, any morality in government? I can't think of one. I mean, during Theresa May, she was going on about her strong and stable. Remember everything there was strong and stable. It was neither strong nor stable, and she didn't last long. I mean, longer than she should have. She was an embarrassment as a PM. Everyone knew she was not capable of doing the job. She wasn't standing up for the people. She wasn't giving us what we wanted. She was trying to prevaricate, trying to reverse a democratic decision even. That's not what you want in a prime minister. So she wasn't stable. Before that, who did you have? You know, it's just been one series of very bad PM after another. Cameron, of course, was PM. He was okay, I suppose. But, of course, he was in a coalition. For most of it, anyway. Excuse me. And when you're in a coalition, of course, as you see with the SNP and the Greens, you are susceptible to the tail wagging the dog. And so there is no stability. There's always, what does the little man want? And they couldn't bend over backwards enough to say, I agree with Nick, if you remember. It's a strange state of affairs that we find ourselves in this day. And yet, here we are. We are at least, well, possibly 2 months away, but at most 6 months away, I suppose, 7 months from an election. And nobody knows. Nobody's got a clue. Nobody. I don't even think Rishi Sunak knows. I think he's prevaricating. I think he's being fence-sitting so much. And you have to ask, why is he sitting on the fence like that? Presumably, he likes the feeling. Nobody knows. We have this ongoing, I suppose, political psychodrama. It can be summed up by the case of everybody's too scared to change and too scared to call the election. They know they're going to get beaten. They know they're going to get trounced. It's going to be the worst result for the Tories in maybe ever, possibly ever. And yet they know they have to call it. Personally, I think Boris Johnson may well come back. I think he may well try to come back and lead them. And it isn't beyond the realm of possibility. You do not need to be a member of Parliament to be the Prime Minister. It's just that it's usually done. But Alex Douglas Hume, he was a Lord. He was in the House of Lords when he became PM. That's a long time ago, of course. But it's still on the books. You do not have to be an MP, a constituency MP. So they may well attempt to bring Boris back to try and save the day. But I think the red wall's gone. You know, who else have you got? There's no one. No one. But people are fed up. There is long NHS waiting lists. There is the ongoing problem with immigration. You've got nobody in power with the ability or the balls to want to even tackle these problems. And we need someone who can. Unfortunately, Keir Starmer is not that man. Not, of course, that Keir Starmer would be Prime Minister for long. He would be the acceptable face of Labour in order to get them in. And as soon as he's in, there'd be a coup d'etat and someone like Rayner would take over and then would have an absolute joke, a circus of a government with a neo-Marxist in charge, a woman who left school incapable of reading and writing as Prime Minister. What a frightening thought. Thanks very much for listening. I'll leave that with you. It's like a nightmare. I'm sorry. But the truth is, we are in a desperate, desperate state in this country. No government, no opposition. Follow me for more nightmares later. Bye.